Hey everyone, I'm Connor and welcome back to my channel, The Closet. If it's your first time here, on my channel I like to talk about all things luxury, so if that's something you're into, I would love it if you could hit the subscribe button and the bell button so you're notified when I bring out new videos. And if you're returning, welcome back to my channel. Now, hiatus. I was on one. I don't know, I didn't have time to film anything, and then when I did have time, it was the last thing I wanted to do because I was so tired. But I've been wanting to do this 12-month review on my Cartier Love Bracelet for a while now, but I thought I'd better wait till the 12 months has elapsed, so it's, you know, makes sense. But it's been 12 months since I purchased my Cartier Love Bracelet, and I got lots of messages about how the prolonged use of it goes, how you find using it at work, and blah, 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 all of those things. So let's just get right into it. So in this video, I'm going to give a full review on the bracelet, go through what it comes with, and all the specs of everything about my bracelet that I've got. Now, I purchased this bracelet this time last year, and I have worn it every single day. It has not come off my wrist, except for when I've cleaned it. I've probably cleaned it maybe 3 or 4 times in the year, and I've taken it off to give it a good clean. But apart from that, it has been on my wrist morning, midday, night. I sleep in it, I take it to work, I wear it to work. So I think that I can give a very broad review on how it wears, how I found wearing it, and all of those things in between. Because if you're unfamiliar with the Love Bracelet, it's one of those bracelets that's designed to be kept on permanently. It's not something that is designed to be taken on and off frequently. And that's because it is basically screwed on to your wrist. It sounds like a bloody, what's those things? The ankle monitors. It's basically like that, but like the luxury version. So basically, when you get one of these, it comes in the famous Cartier red box, and there she is. So mine is the traditional size Love Bracelet in the 18 karat rose gold, or I think Cartier refer to it as pink gold. And I picked this color because for me, it goes best with my skin tone. I love the look of the rose gold, and Cartier's rose gold is not a pinky hue. It's more of a salmony orange hue, I guess, if you were to classify it as that. So it's definitely very unisex, and it's not feminine. It's quite androgynous in its color, and it just pops better on me is what I found. It also comes with the little screwdriver that helps you put the bracelet on and off. It comes with a information booklet on the Love Bracelet, basically how to put it on properly, and then it's the same thing, just in different languages in the book. It has the authenticity card as well, which comes in this envelope. It's in this really nice hardback little folder thing, and then it has the certificate of authenticity. The sales associate at Cartier will then write the serial number by hand on this document and the date of purchase, and the serial number matches the one on the inside of the bracelet. Now, as I've mentioned before in other videos, I did not purchase this bracelet myself. I got it pre-loved from a friend of mine, and she purchased it from Royal Caribbean Cruise, because there's some standalone boutiques on those big, you know, epic cruise ships. So when she bought hers, she also got the Cartier cleaning kit. You can also purchase this separately, but it's basically just a cleaning solution, a little cloth, and a little brush, and then there's also a little booklet in there that shows you how to clean it. I know some people have said in YouTube videos too that you can ask to get a travel pouch for your bag that Cartier actually give away complimentary. I've never asked because it's always on me, so I don't really see the point of getting something like a travel pouch for something that's already on me. But obviously if you have other Cartier things like the rings or earrings or something, it's probably a cool idea to get that, you know. Gotta mooch them for every dollar they're worth. All right, so let's get into the bracelet. Now, the bracelet is in 2 parts, and it is screwed together with 2 movable screws on the side. And I found putting on this bracelet a bit difficult by yourself. I can definitely do it by myself, but it's probably not something you want to be putting on in a rush. But if you do have somebody else to help you, it's always, you know, 110% easier. But in saying that, it's not tedious. It just takes a little bit of getting used to, but once you get the hang of it, you can do it quicker than what you would have the first time. But because it's always on, it doesn't really faze me, because it's definitely not something you know, take off every day. When I purchased this bracelet of my friend, she had basically worn it once and the size just wasn't right for her. Now, this bracelet is something that's a bit tricky when it comes to sizing, but I'll get into that later. But basically she sold it to me at an amazing price, and I was wanting one of these for a very long time, but I could never really swallow the $10,000 price tag. But when I purchased this for 6,600 Australian dollars, I was like, yes. So basically, this bracelet was something that I've always wanted. I love the look of it. I love the aesthetics. I love that it's so simple, yet so timeless at the same time. And I know they're very wanky words to throw around, but it's the best way I can describe it. But my main kind of concern with this bracelet was I'm not somebody who likes wearing jewelry. And if I do wear jewelry, I always want to take it off as soon as I get home. So I thought that wearing this would be something that would annoy me. So I was quite, you know, quite risk adverse about purchasing it brand new, because then if I didn't like it, I knew that I wouldn't be able to either return it or I would be taking a hit on it. So that's also another reason why I opted to go down the pre-love route, because I was, you know, mitigating the financial loss if I did not like it. However, I love it, and it's definitely something that I would purchase again, knowing what I know now. I'm not buying two, but if I had the chance to buy it again, I would. And it is something that I just, every time I look down at it, I love it. It makes me smile. It's so my style. It's such a comfortable, carefree bracelet. And yes, that's basically what I would say in a nutshell about it. Now, I have worked now in 2 different jobs whilst wearing this. One was in retail, where I was very hands-on. I was always doing things that the bracelet would get knocked around, I would scratch it, my wrists were always on a counter or they were hitting something. And now I have a new job where I'm predominantly sitting at a desk on a computer typing. Now, I was a bit concerned about transitioning jobs where I'm forever like my wrists are like this and the bracelet is always hitting the table. Now, since changing jobs, I have not noticed any difference because of the size that I picked for this bracelet. See, I said I'd get onto the size. I'm going on to the size. Okay, guys. Now, size matters, okay? Size matters. And with this bracelet, because for the majority of people who choose to wear one like this, it's predominantly on your wrists 24/7. So when I first got this bracelet, I did not realize how much your wrist fluctuates throughout the day, especially if you live in a tropical environment like I do in Brisbane, whether there is a high percentage of humidity in the air, or it is a very dry air, or it's very cold, your wrist will fluctuate a significant amount. And obviously if you're not wearing something all the time, you don't notice it, but when you're wearing this, you do notice it. Now, when I first did a review on this bracelet, or my first thoughts on this bracelet, I remember saying that I'd gone into the Cartier boutique and tried on the size 17, and I'd also tried on the size 18. The 17 was comfortable for me, but then I put on the old quarantine 15, and then I could no longer fit into the 17. So then I opted for the 18. I went back in again and I tried on the 18. When I then tried on the 18, I realized that it was perfect, fit me great, but then I tried on a friend's a bit later and I realized that the 18 was a little bit too big. It then all started to connect the dots in my head that, you know, obviously your wrist goes up and down in sizes, so it's better to get one that is not snug when it's warm or during the day or when it's really hot, because when it's hot, your wrist expands. I know it's a bit weird because it's like you can only go and try it on when like Venus and Mars have aligned, but I would strongly recommend either trying on a friend's or somebody you know who has one of these, or going into the boutique a few times. So different times of the day. If it's a stinking hot day, don't go in. Go in on a day where it's, you know, like mid 20 degrees Celsius or like 23 degrees Celsius or whatever, where your wrist is going to be at like neutral temperature. And I know, it's ridiculous, but if you're spending that much money, you've got to get it right. So I'm glad that I did, you know, all of those jumping and hoops and running through all of that, but that is the most important thing I would say, to know the size, because if you're wearing it and it just does not work for you, you're gonna just lose your shit, all right? You will. So I'm glad I got the 18, because when we were in summer, it was snug. It was snug on my wrist. I could move it a little bit, but it was not tight on my wrist. Now, when we're coming into the cooler months, there is definitely a lot more flexibility with where I can move it. I still can't turn it all the way around my wrist like that. It just won't do that because of the size of my wrist, but I can definitely go like this and that in the cooler months. In the warmer months, I can probably do this a tiny bit. Now, because of that, there is an added bonus. Now that we're in the cooler months, or when you're working inside in air conditioning, I would say that is just cooler in general, right? So when I'm wearing this at my new job, when I'm on the computer, I have the option, say this is my wrist like this, say my wrist, it would sit here normally. When I'm typing on the computer, I just push it up slightly and then it's sitting on, like normally it would sit here, it's then sitting on this part of my wrist. It does not interfere with my hands when I'm typing at all. It doesn't even hit the table. I don't know if that's just how I type and how my wrists are when I'm like this. But for me, I do not notice it at all. It doesn't hit the table, it doesn't make a noise, it doesn't do anything. So that is a question that I got asked from a few people. How does it go when you're typing? Well, it doesn't go, all right? It does not go. Now, also another big question I get from people is how does it feel when you're sleeping in it? Now, I am the world's fussiest sleeper. Self-proclaimed worst sleeper in the world. And if something is not right, if I can hear a noise outside, I need to have like the fan on 24/7. I need the white noise. And if my pillow's uncomfortable, I will not get to sleep. So that was another thing that I was apprehensive about when getting this bracelet was, is it uncomfortable? Because I sleep with my hand under the pillow, I sleep with my hand like this. Honestly, I need to be studied. But it is perfect. You don't notice it. You don't even feel it. The first night, I forgot about it. And that's saying a lot, because if I was wearing anything else, I couldn't even sleep in a ring or another bracelet. Like even just like when you were a kid and you'd wear those like loose cotton bracelets, I couldn't even do that. It would annoy me. But this, because of the oval shape of the bracelet and then how your wrist naturally is, it complements the shape. So it's not bulging or pushing or poking you. It just sits flush against your wrist and it just complements you perfectly. So it is a great testament to the design of this bracelet, of how it fits on. One thing to point out though is if you look on the inside of the bracelet where the screws are, there's these two little nodules. Now these nodules, you don't feel them when you're wearing them. They don't poke into you, they don't hurt, you don't notice them at all. The only thing it does do though is the pressing of this when you've been asleep pushes into your skin. So when you wake up, you can see two little like Frankenstein things on like indents on your wrist that obviously go away during the day. But I know some people didn't like that, but to me, I mean, it doesn't bother me at all. I mean, it's like nothing. So if that's something you're worried about, it does do that, but I don't know why you'd be worried. Okay, now the most important thing that people ask about this bracelet is the wear and tear. Now, because you're always wearing this bracelet, it's going to get scratched. It's inevitable, it's the nature of the bracelet, and it is going to get scratched, it's going to get marks on it, or like little scuffs. It's going to get all of that onto it because you wear it all of the time. Now, I went in with the attitude with this bracelet thinking, it's going to be on me all the time, I'm not going to be precious about it, I'm still going to be cautious, I'm not going to actively scrape it against a brick wall or hit my wrist on, heavy objects or whatever. I was conscious about that, but I wasn't precious about it. If I'm, at the supermarket and you're going to reach something at the shelf and it knocks on the shelf, it knocks on the shelf. If you're writing and it's hitting the table or it's banging on something, that's just what's going to happen. So I'm glad that I have that attitude with it, but I know some people, and naturally so, because it's so expensive and when you first get it, it's so shining, you don't want to, put any marks on it. But if you can't deal with that, do not get this bracelet. It'll drive you insane. You won't want to wear it. It'll just annoy you. If you're getting this bracelet because you want to wear it for special occasions or you want to wear it to functions or whatever, yeah, it probably is a good bracelet for that because you're going to be a lot more conscious. You're not going to be wearing it 24/7 and you'll be able to mitigate things a lot better. But if you are wearing it as how it's intended to be used, which is every day, it's going to get scratches on it. In saying that, I have scratched it a lot. I've got a few little, I've got no dents or anything, but I've got a few little scuffs. I'll try to show them if they come up on the camera. It smudges, so that might make it look like that, but there is a few like scratches on there. Does not bother me whatsoever. Because this isn't like costume jewellery, it's 18 karat rose gold. it can be taken back to Cartier a few times within its lifetime, and they can professionally polish it where they will remove all of the scratches. It'll just strip it right back to what it originally looked like. It'll be shiny and pretty and all of those things. So it's jewelry. It's meant to be loved. It's meant to be used. The scratches actually add to the character of the bracelet, and it's just how it is. In saying that though, the reason why I said it can only be polished professionally a few times in its lifetime, as with all jewelry, when it is professionally polished where they buff it and do all the little things that they do, tiny amounts of gold come off with that. You wouldn't even be able to tell on a scale because it is so minuscule, but obviously you do not want to be doing it every few months, every year, because you know, eventually the bracelet will just disappear, right? But that's why you can't just get it done all the time, but you wouldn't anyways. All right, next is cleaning and how I take care of the bracelet. Now, because I never take off this bracelet, I haven't, you know, stopped using a certain product because it might wreck the bracelet, or I haven't changed my routine anyway because of the bracelet. I do everything as per normal. I take it in, it's obviously in the shower with me. I wash my body, wash my hair, everything is the same. I've swam in the beach with it on, I've swam in the pool with it on, and I know there's a few forums out there that say you can't do this, can't do that, Cartier recommended this, Cartier recommended that. I asked the SA and she said that it's fine to do so as long as you just wash it down with clean, normal tap water after you've swam in either the beach or the pool. And she also said that at the beach, try not to get any sand on it because you do not want to get sand in the screw mechanism part. Although it's very sealed, it's just something that you just probably would want to mitigate doing. So I just, you know, didn't build a sandcastle that day. But that's the only kind of thing. In terms of the only thing that I haven't obviously used it with, but I wouldn't, is fake tan. Now, if you're somebody who likes to fake tan, I would probably take this off when getting it because I can see fake tan just damaging it somehow. It'll leave a tinge or it'll leave marks, or I don't know. I've worn fake tan with this and nothing went on the bracelet. You know, as the tan wears away, it gets on your clothes and whatnot, but nothing rubbed on the bracelet, even on the inside. But I obviously took it off when I fake tanned. That's the only thing, and probably hair dye. If you're dyeing your hair and you're doing all this and that when you're washing it, I'd probably take it off for that too. But apart from that, they're the only real things that I could think of that would probably damage the bracelet, aside from physical things like abrasive surfaces, you know, like sandpaper and all those things. But they're the only little things where I was like, okay. Now, another thing that gets asked is, what do you do when you go to the airport, if you have an MRI or anything like that? Now, first, if you have to have an MRI or something like that, you have to take it off. You're not allowed to wear any jewelry. You can't wear anything. So take off the bracelet if you're going for an MRI, because when you get to the hospital, they will basically tell you to take it off. And if you don't have your little screwdriver with you, you're going to miss your appointment. When it comes to the airport, very inconsistent. Very inconsistent. I've flown a few times whilst wearing this, and 3 out of the 4 times they didn't say anything. You know, when you go, you put your bag and everything through, you have to take your wallet and everything out of your pocket, you have to take your belt off. When I went up to the little walkie through thing, they didn't say anything, the alarm didn't go off. Then one time in that 4 times, they did tell me to take it off, and I said I can't, it's like I need a screwdriver, blah blah blah, and they cracked the shits and was just like, oh whatever, just go through. So I don't know if he was having a bad day or he wanted the bracelet for himself, or I don't know, but I did not take it off and I still went through the little beepy thing and it didn't go off. So I guess it just depends on the person and the day, but you know, statistically from my experience, you do not need to take it off when you go through the little checky thing. Maybe if you're flying internationally, I would probably just take it off, because if you're going to an airport and it's in a non-English speaking country and they're trying to get you to take it off for whatever reason, you just don't want the drama, I would probably just take it off personally. But that's my experience with going to the airport. That's something that people always ask. So cleaning. Now, when it comes to this bracelet, because you wear it every single day, obviously you're going to be sweating, you're going to be putting moisturizer in your skin, you're going to be washing your body in the shower, and you're going to get that soap build up, especially in between the little screw bits, because it's actually, you know, what's it called? Engraved into the bracelet, so it's quite pronounced. You're going to get soap build up and moisturizer and stuff like that building up in it every so often. So if I'm just doing the every fortnight or every week clean, I basically just get warm soapy water, give it a wipe down on my wrist, and then dry it off with a cloth. If I'm doing the every, 4 or 5 times a year clean, I take the bracelet apart, and then now it's in 2 pieces. I just do 1 piece at a time, and I get the cleaning kit that it came with. Now, I'm not going to do it fully now because I've just done it recently, but I basically spray the cleaning solution into the cloth and just give it a full wipe down. I just go in between all the grooves like this and just give it a full-on wipe down. Then I spray the little toothbrush thing. I'm trying to get out of the box. I get the little toothbrush thing, a spray, and then I just brush in between the grooves of the bracelet. And you will see in parts like here, there where the screw is, the other end of the bracelet where the little prong is, and under the prong, mine's probably a little bit dirty now, you'll just see some dirt and grime build up, and you just give it a little polish and brush and it just comes straight off. It's very, very easy to do. I also give it a polish with a polishing cloth too when I do this, and it just takes all of that tarnish off, and it literally, you think the bracelet looks like 40% well, and then you polish it with the polishing cloth and it goes right back up to 90% again. It actually buffs off a lot of those little surface scratches too, so it really just makes it shine. Now, the polishing cloths I'm talking about are the sunshine cleaning cloths. You can get these on eBay, and basically they take off all of the tarnish from jewelry. As you can see, this one's dirty, so I'll do it on the other side just so you can have a look. Jewelry gets tarnish on it basically whenever it comes into contact with the air. The elements that are in the air come into contact with the bracelet and they tarnish it. So the tarnishing is just surface level, it's not rust, it's basically just when the air comes into contact with the bracelet, those elements just attach to the metal and, make it dull. So I'm just going to give it a little polish just so you can see how it comes up. Hopefully it shows up in the camera. So basically that's what's come off just on that part, and then it's super shiny. So I always do this when I do that big kind of every few times a year clean and just get all of the old tarnish off it. Now, would I purchase this bracelet again? 100%. I have definitely gotten the value that I want from the bracelet. It suits my lifestyle, it suits my needs, and it suits my style. I wear it obviously every single day. I love looking down at it. It makes me smile. I know that's a bit corny because it's just a piece of jewelry, but it honestly makes me smile. I love it. It is definitely something that if I have the information that I know now, I would go out and purchase it brand new from the boutique, because I definitely get everything I want out of this bracelet. It is a very hefty price, and it is definitely something that I would not purchase off the cuff. It's something I would do my research about. I would watch, obviously, other review videos on this bracelet too. And it's definitely not for everyone. Not everybody wants to wear something that is on them 24/7. People get irritated by things, and I get it. I totally get it. So it's definitely not something that, I'm saying is going to suit your lifestyle, but some of the things that I've pointed out in this video are common concerns, because I know I had them and I know other people have had them because they've asked me the questions. But it's definitely probably one of the best pieces of jewelry that you could wear 24/7 if you were to categorize it like that, because of the aesthetic of the bracelet and how it's designed, how it fits on your wrist snugly. It doesn't have any dangly bits, it doesn't have any sharp bits, so nothing gets caught on it when you put on a jumper. It doesn't get caught when you put your arms through. It doesn't get caught in your hair or anything like that, because there's basically nothing to it but 2 pieces of gold that are screwed together. So there's really not much to it. In terms of maintenance and things like that, obviously it's incredibly low key. There's not many moving parts to it. And because the screws are actually fixed into the bracelet, so when you unscrew it, they stop at a point, they can't come out. There's really nothing you have to kind of worry about it. Thanks so much for watching my 12-month Cartier Love Bracelet review. If you have any other questions, please pop them down in the comments below. If you're thinking about getting one, if you've just purchased one, I'd love to hear from you. So please pop it down below and give this video a thumbs up. I'd greatly appreciate it. I'd also also love it if you could subscribe to my channel if you haven't already, and please hop onto Instagram and follow my Instagram account, The Closet by Connor, and also my TikTok account, The Closet by Connor as well. I post lots of funny, relevant Luxe World reels or TikToks on there, and I also post them on my Instagram too, and I would love it if you could check it out. Thanks so much for watching, guys, and I'll see you all next time.